Hello there, this is the Handshake here on New Vision TV with me, Lynn Komjisha. Thanks for joining us. We get to discuss your finances. We get to discuss the business sector. And I have with me Paul Busharizi. This gentleman is an expert. He seems to know these things and, well, this is why I have him here to help us understand. Paul, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm not an expert. I'm an observer.
Okay.
And then I come and tell you.
Ah,
yes.
See, but you observe and analyze and then explain.
Okay. But so I'm not an expert.
Right, still, you're welcome.
Okay, thank you.
Now, there are copycat businesses.
The story of our lives.
Story of our lives. You go to a mall, there are several hundred saloons. You go to the next mall, everyone is selling shoes. When you don't find the right shoe here, this person will tell you, hold up. Goes to the next, picks the right shoe.
Yeah.
How? What? What's why? Why do they do these things?
No, well, I imagine that the attraction for that is, I don't know whether I can call it mental laziness.
Huh?
Because essentially what they are doing is saying, that guy is successful, so I don't need to do market research, check the market, what is the size of the market. I just go and open next to him, hopefully I smile better, and I'll make more money than him next door.
So we think having a shop next to someone who has, succeeded with their businesses,
that we shall succeed.
I don't get it. I really don't.
I mean, as I said, it's an easy thing to do. Ideally, if you're going to start a business, you want to start a business where you have a competitive advantage. A competitive advantage means that you do what you do better than anybody else.
Okay. So
you see that makes sense. You have never done, let's just say, mobile money. You've never done a salon. You've never done the salon business. There's somebody who's been there for 10 years. Then you're going to park your salon next to theirs. It just doesn't make sense. This person has been there a long time. What are you going to offer? So it looks
maybe
easy, but
a new environment.
It looks easy, but it probably explains why less than 5% of our businesses make it to their, or less than 10% of our businesses make it to their first birthday.
First? Yeah. I thought you'd say fifth.
No, fifth is maybe about 5%, and even there we are probably being a bit generous. But that's one of the major reasons. One of the things to succeed in business, you've got to differentiate. You've got to be different from the next person.
Sure.
When you've reached a point where, for example, your brand is known as a generic thing, that get me that Colgate called Close Up, or get me, I don't do advert for people, but essentially that, then you know you've differentiated yourself enough that people don't have to think too much about you. But if you're all together, I mean, differentiation is very difficult.
And so I was discussing with a colleague, and they said, why not, team up and create one whole company so that people just come in and they know who does what, where?
Yeah, I mean, that's true. One of the major problems of our businesses in Uganda is that they are undercapitalized. They don't start with enough money.
Yes.
So they think, let's just start, then we shall somehow handle. So if you bring these people together, they will pool their resources, and yes, they might have even a possibility of a longer life, a more successful thing. I think we are still at a very rudimentary stage of our business development as individuals, as a market. We want to, that's Paul Busharizi's business. Yeah. But in other places, you have shareholders. It's never anyone's business. There's probably a figurehead. There's one guy who stands out, but you're a group of people who come together, pool resources, and push. I mean, think about it. You talk about salons. So you have a salon with those hair dryers. Let's say there are 5, but you never for 20% of your, or 80% of your opening time from, let's say, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., only 80% of those things, only 20% of the time are they fully utilized.
Oh, yes, yes.
But then you have 5 salons who are doing the same thing. So if all you guys brought your 5 together, or if you each contributed 1 and you had 5 guys, the other 4 you all had, you'd put the money either in improving the service in another way or something like that. But you're all there, 5 hair dryers, you only use them 20% of the time, and that's a cost. That's what people forget. That because I bought it, it is there. It doesn't cost me anything. It costs you. That space you could have put on another chair for your pedicures or whatever.
But you know, people start these businesses and they have enemies. They become enemies of each other. They're next to each other, but they're enemies. There's witchcrafters, ABCD going on.
Chicken legs under the chair, feathers in the ceiling, all sorts of things. But I mean, it's not unusual that business partners fall out. But one of the things that we don't do, that is advised, is we go into a business, we come, we talk over tea or a beer, then tomorrow we just start. But normally they advise you get a shareholder agreement, and this shareholder agreement says, what is each one's contribution?
True.
Because everyone might not contribute the same in terms of money, in terms of time. Some people will be willing to work more than others. How will those guys get paid? When the profits come in, how will we share them? These have to be agreed in advance. If the thing collapses, how will we settle the liabilities among ourselves? How much, who owns what, who owns nothing, who, all these things, and it's there. I mean, these days with the internet, you can just go and Google for shareholder agreement for companies, and it shows you what you. So you go into a thing agreeing. You've already agreed to a certain extent. Many times the challenge is that we just go into these things. We don't even talk about our own salaries.
True.
We don't talk about how. Okay, money comes every day, it goes into the drawer. Do we remove it out of the drawer and eat it that day, or do we keep it? If my child falls sick, how do we handle it? No, we just go into the thing. Money starts coming, then suddenly, when money comes, people have ideas.
Absolutely.
You know what? I think I need to have a pain. I need to go for treatment in India. I'm tired. I need to go to Zanzibar.
So how best can they really work on this? How best can it be worked upon?
I think, talk about copycat. I think we just need to recognize, look, guys, I know somebody who decided, okay, if everyone is doing salon, everyone doing the standard thing, what do they do for ladies' hair?
Those things.
Whatever, those things. She just decided she's going to do only African, what do you call it, natural. She's going to do natural styling of hair. That's all. So in her salon, when you go there, you know that's what you're going to do.
I should visit that.
And she has caught. She's what do you call it? She's created such a huge clientele because people know now she has specialized.
Yes.
She knows that stuff.
Yes.
Inside out, and I think she's doing very well for herself. That was one way of differentiating. I mean, we have to look for differentiation. That's one thing. I think second thing, we have to think in terms of pooling resources, because sometimes our businesses collapse for lack of resources. And thirdly, when we get into partnerships, we need to have like some understanding, hopefully written down and even witnessed by a lawyer and that kind of thing, just to say what are the expectations of all the shareholders and all the parties to this business. Then
things
we'll see improvements. Yeah. Instead of saying 100 salons in a mall, you'll see 20.
Oh, yeah.
Then still better.
Right, so that's what we had for you here on The Handshake. Copycat businesses. You just go there, lazy mind, think, use your mind, think, and, be different. At the end of the day, it pays off. Well, thank you, Paul.
You're welcome.